Environment, its pollution and prevention of pollution.
At a corporate social responsibility (CSR) meeting of a manufacturing company, an environmentalist is invited to meet the economist of the company to discuss various issues relating to environment and economics.
Hello, we are delighted to have you here. We would like you to brief us with the environment as a subject and suggest necessary measures.
Thanks a lot. I'm pleased that your company is concerned about the environment. I would be delighted to share my knowledge with you.
Could you please tell us more about the environment?
Sure. Environment is defined as the total planetary inheritance and the totality of all resources. It includes all the biotic and abiotic factors that influence each other.
What are biotic and abiotic factors?
All living elements, birds, animals and plants, forests, fisheries are biotic elements. Abiotic elements include air, water, land, rocks, sunlight, etc.
What functions does the environment perform?
The environment performs 4 vital functions. 1. It supplies resources. Resources include both renewable as well as non-renewable resources. Renewable resources are those which can be used without the possibility of the resource becoming depleted or exhausted. That is, a continuous supply of the resource remains available. Examples of renewable resources are the trees in the forests and the fishes in the ocean. Non-renewable resources, on the other hand, are those which get exhausted with extraction and use. For example, fossil fuels. 2. It assimilates wastes. 3. It sustains life by providing genetic and biodiversity. 4. It also provides aesthetic services like scenery, etc.
Are there any challenges faced in the functioning of the environment?
Resource extraction is far above the rate of regeneration of the resource, and the waste generated are not within the assimilating capacity of the environment. When this is not so, the environment fails to perform its third and vital function of life sustenance. This results in an environmental crisis. The rising population of the developing countries and the affluent consumption and production standards of the developed world have placed a huge stress on the environment in terms of its first 2 functions. Many resources have become extinct, and many of them are on the verge of extinction. The waste generated are beyond the absorptive capacity of the environment. This all culminates to global warming.
I have read a lot about global warming. Can you please elaborate on it?
In simple words, global warming is a gradual increase in the average temperature of the Earth's lower atmosphere as a result of the increase in greenhouse gases. It is caused by man-made increases in carbon dioxide and other greenhouse gases through the burning of fossil fuels and deforestation. Emitting carbon dioxide, methane and such other gases to the atmosphere with no other changes will make our planet's surface warmer. All these factors contribute to ozone depletion.
I see. So what is ozone depletion? How does it affect the Earth's ecological balance?
Ozone depletion refers to the phenomenon of reductions in the amount of ozone in the stratosphere. Ozone depletion makes the scenario all the more worse. Let me highlight a few features.
This is alarming.
India has abundant natural resources in terms of rich quality of soil, hundreds of rivers and tributaries, lush green forests, plenty of mineral deposits, vast stretch of the Indian Ocean, mountain ranges. A quick look at some of the salient features of Indian topography.
That's great. But do we not too face all these environmental problems?
Surely we do. The biggest threat to India's environment are poverty-induced environmental degradation and threat of pollution from affluents and a rapidly growing industrial sector.
So, what do you feel are the priority issues with regard to Indian environment case?
The priority issues identified are land degradation, biodiversity loss, air pollution with special reference to vehicular pollution in urban cities, management of fresh water, solid waste management.
What are the factors responsible for this environmental deterioration?
A lot of factors contribute towards the deterioration of the environment. Some of them are deforestation, unsustainable fuel wood and fodder extraction, shifting cultivation, forest fires and overgrazing, overuse of fertilizers, excess extraction of groundwater, inefficient irrigation, unrestricted and open access to resources.
Can you please elaborate with some relevant statistics?
A quick look at facts and figures related to Indian scenario.
Can we say there is a strong correlation between Indian industrial expansion and environmental degradation?
Absolutely. All the industrial growth of India has come at a great price. The rate at which depletion of resources is taking place. The growth figures we are boasting about would be difficult to sustain. We should move towards sustainable development.
Interesting. So what exactly is sustainable development and how would it help?
Environment and economy are interdependent and need each other. Development that will allow all future generations to have a potential average quality of life that is at least as high as that which is being enjoyed by the current generation. According to United Nations, sustainable development is the development that meets the need of the present generation without compromising the ability of the future generation to meet their own needs.
In more specific terms, sustainable development aims at decreasing the absolute poverty of the poor by providing lasting and secure livelihoods that minimize resource depletion, environmental degradation, cultural disruption, and social instability. So, what are the parameters to ensure sustainable development?
Sustainable development ensures the lifestyle of further generation, which should be as good as current generation's lifestyle. Some of the parameters to measure sustainable development are: 1. Increased income. 2. Real income. 3. Educational services. 4. Healthcare. 5. Sanitation. 6. Water supply.
So, what are the parameters to measure sustainable development?
I would like to show some presentations for different methods that can be adopted to achieve sustainable development. First, we should start substituting conventional energy resources by non-conventional energy resources. Conventional energy resources are mostly non-renewable natural resources. For example, coal, petroleum. Non-conventional energy resources are mostly renewable natural resources. For example, wind, sea waves. Developing hydroelectric projects and windmills to generate electricity rather than thermal power plants. 2. Use of gobar gas in rural areas. We can develop gas for cooking by using biodegradable products like cow dung, wet garbage, food leftovers by the help of gobar gas plant. A gobar gas plant can be developed by collectively contributing money in the rural areas and thus benefiting as a community. 3. Use of CNG in urban areas. We can use compressed natural gas or CNG run vehicles in the urban areas so the pollution caused by petrol and diesel run vehicles can be reduced. For example, in New Delhi, all the public transport like taxis and buses run on CNG. This can help in reducing pollution as well as saving petroleum. 4. Use of wind energy for electricity generation. In areas where speed of wind is usually high, windmills can provide electricity without any adverse impact on the environment. Wind turbines move with the wind and electricity is generated. 5. Biocompost. Farmers in large numbers all over the country have again started using compost made from organic waste of different types. In certain parts of the country, cattle are maintained only because they produce dung, which is an important fertilizer and soil conditioner. Earthworms can convert organic matter into compost faster than the normal composting process. 5. Biopest control. Instead of using pesticides where farmers are prone to use it more than necessary, the farmers can resort to biopest control. Worms and pests which destroy the farm crops can be countered with their successors in the food chain who can clean them up. This ensures no crop damage and satisfactory results.
Thanks a lot for throwing light on these topics. We industries have been reckless with the resources we have. We should use non-renewable resources sparingly and try to use renewable resources as far as possible. We should also not be greedy about growth, but should sustain these growth figures. This would help towards sustainable development. We would try our best to help you in this cause.
Thank you. I would be glad if you do so.